Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest beat coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay solid just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can't see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Businessman. I'm your boy, Sirr, of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. I worked hard for it. Anyway, I got a return guest today. Y'all know my boy, Broken Prodycal, is back in the building. What's good, bro?
Yeah, what it do, man? It's a blessing to be back, man.
Man, it's been, like I was just saying, it's been a whole year.
Yeah.
And we back at it again. Different location in the studio.
Yeah,
but we
in the
back
studio,
in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Whole year has been a lot, man. From COVID to maintaining things around the house, music. It's been a lot.
You know, yeah, it has, man. A lot of growth with you. Some new ventures. Got that YouTube channel going with, you know what I'm saying, your artwork and stuff.
Oh yeah. Broken Manga.
Yeah, bro.
Everything's gonna have that logo Broken in it in me. So Broken Manga is one of them where I do my animations. I'm working on my manga comic, so you can go on there and check it. Broken Manga on YouTube, and also I got Broken Reaction Game Review channel. So I'm playing the game and I'm reviewing them as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What was your latest game you worked?
The latest game review, I think the latest episode was a classic on Mortal Kombat 2, but the latest game was probably Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, that was a dope game.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
I haven't
one.
beat it, but you know how I'm taking my time.
It's worth the time though.
Yeah.
Going through those side missions and doing all that. So by the time you're done with it, then hit the review up. Actually, that review, I don't think I finished the game at that point, so I ain't want to spoil it.
Right. Appreciate that, because people be, bruh.
Yeah, you do.
Bruh. You be 15 seconds into the reveal or the review of the game, and then they told you to end it. I'm like, that's what happened to The Last of Us 2 for me.
Yeah, I did Last of Us 2 as well.
See, and what I started doing now, I don't even watch reviews no more.
Yeah. Wait till you're done, so see how everybody else reacted to it.
Right.
That's the best thing. Yeah.
All right. So, bro, what's been new in this past year, man? Besides the YouTube channel, besides the gaming reviews, what else has been new with Broken Prodycal?
Just learning how to navigate as an artist, because as we know, COVID is a pandemic that's been heavy this whole year. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn how to step into another pocket of my talent. So merch has been a big thing, selling t-shirts, hoodies and stuff, or what have you. Building connections, talking to people behind the scenes, especially with this project, man. I've been working on this project for the entire pandemic.
Wow, let's talk about it. What's the name of it?
It's Can't Break Even, Notice Greatness 2. It's a sequel project. The first one's on datpiff.com, and you can get it there free. Get your little snippet. But basically, this project it's almost like that term Can't Break Even. It comes from gambling. Most of the time, you at the roulette table or something, and you break even, you leave with what you have. So I'm like, I can't do that. I'm gonna put all I got. If you put all you can into something, you're not gonna break even. You're gonna leave out with more than you wanted. So that's kind of the theme of it, and it's like a spiritual overtone as well. Can't break even until you notice the greater purpose that's greater than you. And personally, it was just a drive. You know, me being an independent artist, I'm put everything I had into it so that people can really get more out of it. So yeah,
that's dope. That's dope, because a lot of times I like the way you put that in a positive aspect, because a lot of times whenever people say, man, I can't break even, it makes it sound like they're always losing.
Yeah.
But for you, it's from the aspect of, nah, I refuse to break even.
Yeah.
That's empowering.
Yeah.
That is empowering, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this year, bro. Because
Yeah.
COVID,
Man.
bruh, 2020 was supposed to be that year for everybody, but God was like,
man. Yeah. So COVID, man, a lot of self-reevaluation. A lot of, like, I had a lot of moments where I was either to myself, by myself, with just my family, me and mine, and I had to learn my children all over again. What I thought I knew when there was no COVID, I learned more about them. I was like, wow, a lot of these things are like, you know, things that I didn't pay attention to. Like my son throwing the football. I threw the football with him prior to COVID, but I didn't realize that he didn't really know how to catch. So then after a week or so, he's throwing the ball far. I'm like, man, dog, just this time showing me that, you know, I had to look at it from a higher perspective, like God giving me time to really, because a lot of times we complain we don't have enough time with our families, and I had more than enough. I had a whole year of family and a whole year learning and teaching as well.
You know, my good friend, Deron, he's in Miami.
Yeah.
He said something, and he was completely honest. He said, teachers, I am sorry. I see exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
I took you for granted. I will do better.
Yeah.
Because I have no choice.
Yeah.
Accountability is my thing, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we do get in this mindset of, especially when we're working, that I know my kid wouldn't do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
1 week.
Oh, yeah.
1 week. And he was like, I get it.
Yeah.
You're right. But for you to see the opportunity, not in what he was doing, but what he wasn't doing, quite right.
Yeah.
And able to focus on that. Do you think God was intending that for all of us? Because true, in this pandemic time, unfortunately, you know, domestic incidents have been on the rise. But I do think it sheds a light on who we are as people when the pressure comes, when we have to sit down and hunker down.
Yeah.
What's your communication like? What are you built on? You know? So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think this was an eye-opener for a lot of people?
Definitely, man, especially in the family dynamic, you know. As far as marriages, you couldn't just go to work. You couldn't argue, fuss, go to work, blow off steam, and come back. You had to conflict resolve the situation and navigate and learn more about your spouse and learn about yourself. I learned a lot about like what drives me, because I had to question myself, like, why am I even doing the music? Because I know that I want to encourage people with the message that I have in it, but I was like, am I just doing it for that? Am I really doing it for that, or am I doing it for self-gain? And I realized, like, man, and I had to pause. It was a minute where I had to pause and like, man, is it just me, God? I know you brought me to you and you showed me these things and you gave me these tools, but is it really this? And I was like, man, I had to check my pride. Because I was dealing with pride. I was like, man, people have to hear this, even though people probably externally didn't see it. Me internally, I was like, man, I was struggling with pride, and I had to like, well, God, your will be done. You know, whether people listen to it or not, if they get the message, they get it. You care more about the individual more than the artist's name. Yeah. So
Care more about the soul. I got you. How did that affect you going into this project? In this project, you hear a lot of different emotions in it. You know, I open it with the overtone of "Can't Break Even, Know This Greatness." Then you get into songs like "Still Breathing," while COVID is high. Now, I made this song before they announced. Like, I wrote it down prior to George Floyd, prior to COVID, and it just resonated with the whole season because people were saying, I can't breathe. And I was like, well, I'm living in the land of the living. And I'm still breathing. And this is how I navigate. I navigate with Christ. I allow him to direct my path. And I just talk about a little bit of my background in that song.
And it so happened that it was in the same time period as George Floyd. I was like, oh my God, people gonna think I'm just trying to run off of this, but it had nothing to do with that. It was all about me reevaluating myself and sharing some of the things I did. Then you got other songs on there, like so many different emotions. I got a song called Rooftop that I redid for the sake of the project. I felt like it was relevant. A lot of people resonated with it. When it's like almost about depression, and I'm talking about the condition of my heart, and this heart has questioned many things, has questioned, were my kids meant to be here? Did I rush marriage? Did I rush what I needed? You know what I'm saying? Should I be following my feelings, or should I follow the spirit? So songs like that, I had like a fan reach out to me and said, in the break of COVID, his girlfriend committed suicide.
Oh, man.
And I was like, wow. And he said, your song helped me. I've been listening to your song since that. And I was like, man, like that's what I want, people to be impacted by the message. That was pretty heavy. I was like, whoa. Right. So I was treading lightly just listening to what he had to say. But a lot of emotional things, a lot of things as far as my walk. You know, you have your braggadocious song, like this is what I do, hip hop. But then you got those songs where I mention a song called Addiction, and I'm just talking about things that I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? It has a commercial sound to it, but it's a serious message in it, because when you hear it, you hear things that I struggled with as a teen, and then you hear I talk about a video game addiction as a child, like how I dealt with it then, and identifying what was bringing me to that, and it was the lack of attention, the lack of time with my parents in that season. But when you hear the song, you're like, man, he really unpacking a lot on this CD. So definitely, man, good listen. I got singles out there right now. I think we got Still Breathing, Circles, which is more like a party song, even though we can't party. Right. But for 2021 though.
Right.
Yeah.
That 2021 turn up gonna be real.
Yeah.
I like the fact of what you were unpacking in this project. Sunrise, Sunset.
Yeah.
I remember last year before I interviewed, I went back and I listened to him.
Yeah.
And I liked how raw the emotions were.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is your authenticity in your music. Like that people can feel. It's palpable when you listen to it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The beat slap. All your beat selections is no problem, especially with your producing and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't think I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's your word choice and your tone when you're rapping. When you have your braggadocious tracks, you're right. But when you're talking about yourself, it's a lower, slower, methodical pace. Yeah. That is like, okay, listen to what I'm saying. It's a conversation. It's an exchange. So I can really identify with what they're talking about. Yeah. You know, that fan. Shout out to them to hanging in there, bro, because we are all struggling in some way, form, or facet. Yeah, man. And that's horrible news, and my prayers are with you, brother, wherever you are. I did have a question. Okay. So with this project and with a few other projects, I see you've been collaborating with a few other people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So with the pandemic, networking has been pew through the roof. Oh yeah. How has that worked to your benefit this year?
Well, it always has been easy far as collaborating in the later 2000s because we got the internet to our resource, so we can email tracks over to people and people can knock it out and send it back to you. So basically, a lot of my connections have had to be forgive me for my grammar, has been done through social media. So Instagram, DMing, talking to people. I've even had to collaborate with a guy named D. Mosley from D. Mosley Production, who mixed a few songs for me. And he taught me some stuff. And the thing was, we couldn't be in the same studio sometimes. So it was email this, email that, how does this sound? I'm like, raise this up. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of that, but then it made me appreciate the craft even more. I was like, man, you know, I got to get my quality up, man. He was telling me things that I didn't realize that was going on in my music before. So it made me push myself in a lot of tutorials and YouTube and all that. And we got the music to a better quality. But definitely social media helped in that aspect. Now there were pros and cons, but as far as the pros, I was able to link up with people easier.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's it, because I guess when everybody has to stop, you're able to tune in more to your craft, and when you meet like-minded people, you guys are on the same accord. You know what I'm saying? One or two gathered in the name. You know.
There you go. He in the midst.
Right.
There you go.
Right. So I think that's humbling too, because I think we all get in our bag with our respective things. Like with me podcasting and doing video and audio editing. After a certain point, I'm like, man, I got this. But then you always meet that one person who's like, it's good, but you can do better. And then sometimes that can be humbling. You know, I deal with pride as well. So when I run into that, it's like, dang. But at the same time, I appreciate it because this person want to make me better. You know what I'm saying? And I know with you being an anime fan, you get that.
Of course. Of course, I get it. I get it.
So with you, like, with the feedback you've been receiving, is it a process to kind of unpack it and apply it? Or are you able just to kind of pick it up and like, you know what, got it, bam, let's do it?
So I wrote something in like the thank you section of the booklet for this album. And I'm just going to paraphrase because there's a lot. But I was like, man, there were parts of the project where I was like depressed, sad, discouraged, where I cried. It was parts where I was joyous and happy. And I say that because like when you get criticism or somebody tells you something about it and you want to fix it, you know what I'm saying? First, when you're dealing with art, it's always a masterpiece when you put it out. But then the world sees it and they see the imperfections. They're like, well, you know, I like that, but this could have been better. I can barely hear this. You know what I'm like, oh my God. Just listen to it and leave me alone. But then I humble myself like, they're right though. They listen to quality music all the time. I'm an independent artist doing everything myself, so I have to, if I'm gonna hold that brand independent for right now, then I have to get on, I have to extend to the next level. And I did when I ascended and I started hearing these mixes, I was like, you know what? Let me drop this project. And I don't know if you know about it, but it was a project called the BBB mixtape.
That's what I was gonna get to.
And it's my boy Big Ray the Boss and Bonus to Great, two dope artists. And I said, I'm gonna collaborate with them. I wanted to share the opportunity for them to be on platforms. And also I was practicing my mixing with them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, this free time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I use all that, and I also was mixing my own project in the back of that. So it was like so much time to where it just, like that Super Saiyan moment, I was like, this is it. I get it. I get what people are talking about now. But yeah, definitely, man.
That's what's up. I was going to get to that because that's one of the projects I saw you announced.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got to take what you learned and use it to the benefit of others so that y'all all could rise from it, that's going to bless you, like, in the end. Because you're manifesting something. You're taking what the universe gave you and you're planting seeds for others to rise from. So kudos on that, because a lot of times you hear this saying, I don't like to spread it, that people are crabmen, you know, the crab mentality.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm not going to speak that. I'm not going to speak that. I'll say sometimes we get in our moments where we feel selfish. I'll say that because I'm not going to group everyone in that type of situation. You know, people have different motivations, different battles that they're dealing with. So in their mind, they may be making a logical decision. So I will not knock somebody for making a logical decision. But when you step out and say, you know what, I'm going to do this out the kindness of my heart because I see what you want to do and we're going to do this together. That's amazing. Especially when it's like not for profit per se. You know what I'm saying? It's for the love of it because I want to see you succeed. Excuse me. So kudos, bro. Kudos.
Man. That was it was a tiring process, not with the artist, just with the mixing and stuff and getting it done, because even though I think on there we dropped like 20 songs, in reality it's like 50 songs that we got together.
Ooh.
And I had like, I'm a Christian hip hop artist, so I know that makes it difficult for people to want to be themselves around me sometimes. But I said, man, for the sake of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Let's not put a barrier there. You put your ideology on it, I put mine on it, and let's just make some great music. And that's what it was.
Bruh, I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you did that, because for the longest you have people that have this mindset where you could do hip hop, but you can't do rap, and then you can't do Christian rap. Like, it's all music and art.
Yeah.
Like, and crossovers shouldn't be labeled as crossovers.
Yeah.
It should just be music.
Yeah.
You know. I'm glad you did that. I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't make it a point to make it stand out. No, we got together and we did this.
Yeah.
You know, fellowship. Why not?
Yeah.
So kudos, bro. Kudos, bro. Did you want to give them a shout out? You know?
Yeah, man. Big Rated Boss has a project coming out. It's untitled at the moment, but look for it 2021. And so does Bonus the Great, man. Two dope artists. Bonus the Great is actually my cousin. He the one who showed me the game and showed me how to rap and pick up cadences. So big shout out to Big Homie right there. And yeah, man. That's it far as the shout outs on that end. Oh yeah, sorry, Big Rated Boss. I ain't forget about you. But also shout out for him dropping a dope verse on my project Can't Break Even Notice Greatness 2. And who else? Not Guilty, man. I ain't forget about you. Not Guilty for dropping the verse on that as well, man. There's a lot of people that collaborated on this project, man. From the production to the mixing to the artist. So that was the first time. Usually I got hands on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to humble myself and be like, okay, let me see how he thinks this sound. How can he spin that? What beats do I need? And it was a lot of conversation. One of the songs that people resonated the most with, it was a guy named Ruslan. He's a Christian, I don't know what to call him. He's in a Christian hip hop community, but he does like reviews and conversations with different people. But I hopped in his Patreon and I submitted my song to him, and he was listening to it. The first song I submitted, it was so harsh because I knew it wasn't mixed right. I just gave it to him. It was a phone recording, and it sounded good to me. And I let me see what he seen. And he was like, "Yo, bro, this is so harsh, bro. Yo, you gotta work on this mix." And I was like, "Oh God!" But I took that and I said, "Okay, stop playing." So I gave him something that I mixed to the best of my ability in that time period. He heard it. He said, "This is dope, man. I can picture Andre 3000 rapping on this. See if you can come with a different flow cadence on it." And I was like, "All right, bet." So I took heed, and that's what the album version of the song is gonna have on it. So
that's dope.
It's pretty dope, man.
Let me ask you this, because for those entrepreneurs that's listening or watching or both,
Yeah.
one of the hardest things to do is to let go and kind of let other people who are better than us in certain aspects put their hands on our baby.
Yeah.
What did it take for you to be like, you know what? I'm gonna let them do their thing. Let me just put my hands behind my back.
One of the things is being somebody that curates a lot of like I have a lot of content, and I realize like you can produce a million things, you know what I'm saying? But if nobody's hearing it, or if it is not appealing to their ear, you know what I'm saying? At some point, you're going to have to learn. Just in life, we're dealing with the baby. It takes a village to raise a child. So if you take that look at it, you're like, yo, well, you know, if these guys are charting on billboards and they have a team of like 100 people maybe, you know, one person that does the mixing, mastering, recording booth, second sound check, you know, all this stuff, and it's just me assuming that people are going to hear it and just because they like me, they're just going to love the music. No. It takes a team regardless, and that's kind of what I wanted. I think in the last interview I said I wanted to build relationships. So I started looking left and right, who's doing what I'm doing, and how can I either help them or how can I benefit off a relationship with them. So the team, you need the team, man. The team, look, teamwork make the dream work.
There it is. I hope somebody took that message in there, bro, because you're right. I've had some team changes. And one of the best things I ever did was in a project I did, Impromptu, was where we do ciphers around the city. Yeah, man. I
saw you. Was it Sue Vega?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's a childhood homie right there, man.
Word. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's my little brother. We literally grew up together.
What?
His mom and my mom were best friends.
That's dope, man.
Small world, ain't it?
It's a very small world, man. I remember when I first met him, man. Very talented. In that season of our life, he was singing. Like he was showing his singing abilities more. And then as we got older, I noticed that he started focusing on the hip hop more. I was like, okay. But yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to you, bro, man. You know, I knew his mom as well, man. She visited and chatted with my mom. Yeah, man.
Rest in peace, Miss Pat. We miss you. We miss you,
man.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, man, this project I'm looking forward to. And we're trying to coincide this thing to drop, you know, at the same time so we can get this thing going.
Yeah.
So when we looking at dropping?
Man, so today, can I say today's date?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
I don't even know today's date.
It's the 13th.
13th, man. So it's the 13th. If you're seeing this, it drops on, I think that's next Friday, December 18th. So December 18th, it'll be available on all streaming platforms. That's iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. So it'll be everywhere, and also the pre-order is available now. So you can go on iTunes and pre-order if you do it that way. But either way, just hear it, share it, give it to a friend. Dope music,
bro. Broken Prodycal, bro. Appreciate you coming back and doing this interview for me. Man,
it's always a blessing to be here, bro.
Hey. If anybody want to get into contact with you, whether it be for a feature, some ideas, it might even want you to just listen to a track, you know what I'm saying? Like you've done for others.
Yeah.
Where could they reach you, bro?
All right, so I'm on IG as Prodycal is back, PRODYCALISBACK. Also, I'm on there as Quick and Quality. Now, this is also a side hustle I didn't mention, but I mix and master people's stuff as well.
Word.
So Quick and Quality, Quick being spelled QUIK, the letter N, Quality, QUALITY. So yeah, Quick and Quality, you can reach me there if you want me to listen to a track or you want me to give input or assist you with mixing. I'm there. There's a price to it, but look, my prices aren't unreasonable. I'm an independent artist, so I know that sometimes you need an independent help. So just reach out. Also, I'm on IG. Sorry, I got more aliases now.
I understand.
Also on IG, I'm known as Broken Manga, so BROKENMANGA, and that's where I display my artwork as well. And I also keep a link for the YouTube in there as well, so you can see the videos and the speed drawings and all that stuff.
And again, I know we talked about it in the beginning, but I love what you're doing with Broken Manga, bro. The fact that you take your art and you're just talking.
Yeah.
You're just shooting it. And you got a fan base, bro.
Oh, okay.
Like, you got people that's tuned in, checking you out and responding. Because I check the comments.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I check the comments. And I'm just like, man, like, the thing, you basically podcasting. I don't know if you noticed it or not.
I mean, I've been stepping. I wasn't trying to, but it's like this pandemic, you can't sit still. You gotta evolve a little bit. So yeah.